Offered for 37 years.
Is that all?
One of my original products was a glucosamine and chondroitin product. So we've been doing it for 37 years. I think that would make us pretty experienced.
I was going to say.
Probably more experienced than any other company out there. And again, so many of the ingredients that we offer, at the time we offered them, people thought we were crazy,
right,
or I might have gotten criticism. But 10, 20, 30 years later, whether it's CoQ10, whether it's lutein and zeaxanthin, it's fascinating that now these ingredients are well accepted. I knew they would be eventually because I wasn't pulling this out of the sky. It's just that I'm a bit of a science nerd, a science geek, and I just love to read research. If you read the science and research, and I think a lot of people in the supplement industry do not, you would know the importance of these ingredients. Lutein and zeaxanthin in our eye product we'll talk about in a moment. They are the optical pigments that are in everyone's eyes, and if they're not, your eyes aren't working. Glucosamine and chondroitin are structural molecules that are involved in the elastic tissues in our body, critical to the structure and function of our joints. And the key to glucosamine and chondroitin is most companies deliver them in a form that won't work.
Right.
We deliver them in the proper form so they can deliver their benefits.
And Andrew, I feel like your personal biographer because I read so much about you. But I wrote down here, your early interest in vitamins began when you were a child and you wished to make pets healthier. Cute photo of Lincoln right there.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, he usually doesn't wear sunglasses.
It's a good look for him.
Yes, it's a good look.
Look.
They match his tongue. But,
we love it.
No, but originally, well, the original, what I did, I wanted to get gerbils when I was a little kid.
Gerbils?
I was probably about 9 or 10 years old. And my parents were not supportive of that idea, but my parents were supportive of my education. Right. So there was a science fair coming up, so I convinced them that I needed the gerbils to do my science fair project.
Right.
The funny irony of the story is if you look at what the science fair project was when I was 9 years old, that science fair project was to divide the gerbils into 2 groups. One group got vitamins,
right,
the other group did not.
Are you serious?
And look at how they behave differently. So it's funny that
what happened?
Well, the one group, of course, was healthier and weighed more, that was getting vitamins, and the study was done. But then, of course, afterwards, I found out the reason why they weighed more. A couple of the gerbils got pregnant. So I suddenly realized that, yes, you can have a scientific result, but it's not always as it seems.
There you go.
So I learned to question the science. But it's just funny that I've always been fascinated by how do I make things better? So I wanted my gerbils to be healthier. So.
And from healthy gerbils to now healthy you and me, which is what we're excited about as well. We do obviously want to share with you this hero product.
And by the way, no animals were harmed in that research. So it was animal research, but no animals were harmed. They were very well treated gerbils.
Andrew is very, very animal friendly. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
This one, in terms of the glucosamine, the levels at which you implement ingredients, I always find very interesting. And this is something that most of us, again, have no concept of when we buy something off the shelf.
Right.
You always go to the optimum.
And it's funny, it's technical with glucosamine. With glucosamine and chondroitin, the levels are 1,500 and 1,200.
Okay.
But with glucosamine, it's 1,500 of glucosamine in the form of glucosamine sulfate, which basically means it's 2,000 milligrams of glucosamine sulfate. Typical companies use glucosamine hydrochloride. And so even if they deliver 1,500 of glucosamine, it's a smaller level of hydrochloride, and the sulfate is critical. Sulfur is critical to the benefit of the glucosamine sulfate, absolutely critical. The research on glucosamine hydrochloride is not positive. The research on glucosamine sulfate is positive. And then there's 1,200 of chondroitin sulfate, but the 1,200 could be for the moiety itself, the entire molecule of chondroitin sulfate. So when it comes to delivering our product, most companies will shortchange you using glucosamine hydrochloride or 1,500 milligrams of the total, which means it's only about, say, somewhere between 1,200 or 1,300 milligrams of actual glucosamine. So they use the wrong form, they use the wrong level, they put it in a tablet that's going to be hard to digest, hard to absorb, difficult and upsetting to your stomach. So there's so many reasons why most folks make, and I'll show you with a capsule of ours. It's again, a small capsule. It's an easy to swallow capsule, and it's an ultrafine powder. There's nothing about that that will upset your stomach. It dissolves instantly to give you your benefits, and that's, no product should be upsetting to your stomach. I don't care how great it is in terms of a vitamin supplement. If it upsets your stomach, I look at it as I've failed. Yeah. So I have to figure out how to make it consistent with the science and consistent with your body.
Andrew, I want to understand this idea of the quality of the ingredients, because I find this very interesting. So what we're saying with other companies, and maybe we're talking glucosamine, maybe we're talking Essential 1, Omega-3.
Almost any product.
What we say is that other companies take shortcuts, because in terms of a cost basis, it's cheaper to make but still sell at a high price.
Yeah, I think a lot of times they create commodities. So they try to create something that can sell at a low price, because if they don't inform you what it really needs to be, then you don't know any better. So you buy the cheaper glucosamine hydrochloride not knowing you're wasting your money. You spend less, but you're wasting your money. So even if you're spending less, who wants to be wasting our money? So I think the key is actually being educated and informed so that you could tell the difference between the product that's going to be beneficial and the product that won't be beneficial. And I have no interest in making a product that doesn't work. Right. I don't care how well it would sell. Yeah. I want to make a product that works, or I won't make it. I take it myself. I've taken, the products we've gone through in this hour, every single one of them I take. And so if I'm making a product for me, it best be the best in the world, or I don't want to take it. And those are the exact same products I share. And again, we are unique in that we make them. I'm not sure how many people will stand on television who make their own products, talk about them, talk about how they were created, literally this product 37 years ago, and then also show you their facility. And we do probably 3 or 4 times a year, we do shows from the exact facility where all your vitamins are made, because we're proud of showing you the level of care and the technology we use to make them.
And as we wrap up glucosamine, you have to ask yourself, how do you feel? How do your joints feel? It's one of those areas where if your joints are not happy, you're not happy. If you are right now taking another glucosamine product, I would highly encourage you. If I was sat across the table from you in your home having a nice cup of tea, I would ask you sincerely to please try Andrew's products. And that goes for absolutely anything that we're going to share and show you tonight. Maybe it was the omega-3, maybe you take a multivitamin, maybe you take other glucosamine. Because Andrew, when your joints are not happy, you simply are not either.
Well, and again, it's something that our joints talk to us. And I've said this before, glucosamine, chondroitin, we'll talk about turmeric in a moment, which is another great product with a whole range of benefits, but many people take it for their joints. That this is not a drug, a medicine, it's not an anti-inflammatory. Right. I leave that to the drug companies. Whether you have perfect joints, whether you have osteoarthritic joints, our joints all share the same structure and properties. And as I say, function follows structure. And these molecules, glucosamine and chondroitin, have structure modifying effects because they are the building blocks of those tissues. So very, very simple to look at these things without considering them drugs or medicines. Not all things that are good for our health have to be a drug or a medicine. As I said before, our diet is incredibly powerful, and these are just extensions of our diet. These are just dietary supplements.
Well, talking of which, we're going to wander over this way and talk about turmeric.